Hey everybody, welcome back to another reaction. Today I'm going to be listening to all of the themes of Azhdaha. I don't know what to expect on this one. I did find out after listening to the prior two theme sets that the two of them are connected in a way, story-wise. I don't really know that stuff since I don't play the game, but I do read all of the comments that are made, so I've learned a little bit of the backstory behind the characters and how they're connected story-wise, so I kind of wonder if I'm going to notice any of that in this one, if that is somehow related to. I, again, don't really know, so maybe that's not the case here, but either way, the prior two have been beautiful so far, so I'm excited to hear whatever this has in store, so let's get right into it, shall we? Let's go! That is a deep string section. Ooh, I love those swells. Really interesting percussive stuff going on too. I'm trying to figure out what that instrument is or what they're using. I think they were just very high xylophone maybe? Yeah, I think that's high xylophone. It might be a traditional instrument that sounds similar, though, so don't quote me on that. that was a cool way to build. Oh my god. Must have been a transition there. Oh, no wonder that brass section was so beefy. Look at this big boy. Oh my god. Ooh. The huge, like, sound in this. Oh. Oh. Speaking of huge sound, the groupings of brass are really interesting. Of course, you have to have, like, the chorus. This is really cool. There's some neat stuff happening compositionally in here that I'm getting all excited about. That's such a good line. Right on cue. Got the snare in there now. I'm trying to not talk too much. I want to, like, let it speak for itself as well. I love this. This part specifically as well. And the way that went up just now. Oh. Back to the big brass. Ooh. What a complete 180 in dynamic shift. Wow. Whew. Oh. Oh, man. So that first ending was just the, I'm dead, huh? Not today! I'm excited to see where this part goes now, after hearing the last one. Ooh, more triumphant. Okay. Whew. Oh! Oh! They are! They tied it together! Yay! Love it when they do that. I love motif blending like that. It's so cool. Brings everything together so in such an interesting way. I love that instrument. We'll get to that. Ooh. Oh shit. Whoo! Hell yeah. What a good foot groove to use there. Messing around on the toms a little. Now it's just hi-hat dancing. Hell yeah. Ooh! Blending everything now. Must be getting close to the end. And I'm a sucker for the halftime. Yes! Ooh, big build. And the delay. This has a lot of my personal favorite biases going on here. God! Oh, wow. I thought it was done. I just reacted on cue. Well, okay, so holy shit. I'm gonna kind of go through this phase by phase because I'm gonna need to, like, break it down like that. There's so much unique stuff to talk about between each one. So that's gonna be react first, I think. Hold up. Okay, so the first phase. This one was really interesting in a lot of ways, but mainly because it started off and was curious, almost like a little forest sprite kind of dancing with the what I still believe may be a high xylophone, could just be some sort of wood-based percussive instrument there, and just kind of made it very light, like there's a curiosity to be found. And that makes sense since you're like building up to what is probably going to be this like big ominous room or something. You're in like a hallway, something like that. I'm just working through my own mind. Like I said, never played it. Don't kill me. But then it builds to this like, then you see it where it hits all of that brass, just boo, It's like, oh shit, what is coming? Like something big, clearly. I thought it was in the clear, and I'm clearly not. That's the emotion I got in the story that it built through just hearing the music. I don't know how exact that may be, but that's what I got off it, and that was a super cool. It's a classic way to start off the "here comes the big bad" trope. It's so well done. So the second phase really like started to root itself a lot. It brought in that choir, that big, like, larger than life tone of just having all these voices blend together. But it also had these really interesting blocks of the like the groupings of brass I mentioned were really the like dwan, 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 like using triplets to just really sell that extra space in the song and have that extra sound in there. It takes up so much room audibly. So it's just that's so cool. The fact that it was just basically all brass and choir to really like sell that here is a big argument that you're about to have or are currently having, and this boy is not going to let you get away easy because he takes up half the damn screen. It was also interesting to hear the those little like like I remember those parts being like they reminded me a lot of how some of the soundtrack in Star Wars is when it does something that's just like, oh, here's something interesting, something happened, oh, it's very anxiety pressing. It's not inducing of anxiety, but it's to make you get that mindset of here's something happening. What? Like it's an unnerving sensation to hear notes like that and to be clashing when they're that close to each other. That pere, it's not something that your brain perceives as something that is normal. It's abnormal. It really confuses the mind that there are notes that close when traditionally, we, at least in the Western world, are more used to hearing things in a set structure that is largely based out of Europe. So we don't really use too many clashes unless we're trying to sell something that is uncomfortable. The Eastern world does that more. They use more of those clashes, but that's just because they work off an entirely different chord structure and progressive language than the West does. So that's just kind of par for the course there. But clearly this is being inspired by that more Central European sound of here's big, here is dragon, here is thing that is coming to hurt. So it brings a lot more of that Western idea of fantasy and that music language that comes with it. So that was really neat to have. Just that big, larger than life, boom, 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 boom. Like I said, those groupings to really sell that punch of energy is just super neat to hear. And I love when songs do that because it tells so much without having to do too much. My cat's here. Wow. She got interested in what I was talking about. Hello, hi. Yeah. I love you too. Sorry, we have a cat break here. Hold on. You guys hearing that shit? Sorry about that. Let's just get on to part 3, shall we? All right, so in part 3, we had a lot going on. So it's the part that got me realizing I'm going to need to do 3 separate parts to talk about this song. So part 3 introduced one of my favorite personal instruments of Chinese origin, the zhonghe. I love the way that the zhonghe sounds. It is such a pretty instrument. I was first introduced to it truly by The Legend of Korra, and it's in the outro theme for that. A beautiful instrument, and I was immediately like on Google, what is this? How much can I hear of it, and can I inject it directly in my veins? It is a beautiful single string instrument, and I love it when they use it in any composition. It basically turns it from a 3 to a 5 immediately, like that meme of that kid that's just like, turn it up. I love that instrument. It is such a beautiful sound. It is so pure, and it is so interesting. It's got such a great texture to it. I just love it so much. So when they introduced that, immediately my favorite part. But then they started introducing like more rock and like more metal instruments in there. They had an actual drum kit in there, and I was like, hello. And they had a really cool bass pattern going on there. It's not nothing too hard to play by any means, but being able to have a subdivision on the bass pedal compared to the standard 4 that was being kept up on like the ride and the open hi-hat, and just the boom, it has this very again, kind of a Western influence, that pattern that was kind of overall being carried with that drum kit going on, as well as the other instruments as well, but rooted by that bass pattern. You may recognize that pattern just immediately off of the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's this very powerful sound that really carries you into the music and carries you through. And it's just super useful. It's super useful in composition, and I love it when it's used because as a rhythmic centric person like myself, hearing those types of things, I'm just like, here's immediately a footnote of what I need to know about the song right off the bat. There was also another instrument in there. I couldn't quite nail down what it was from the little bit I did hear of it. It sounded like a flute. I can't tell you what exact flute. There are so many hundreds of types of flutes out there, I swear. It sounded for a second like it could be a tin flute, but then I heard a more full version of the flute later, and I'm not sure if it was just that same flute but played lower and higher, or if it was a completely different instrument. I couldn't tell you. But all of these blends, the chorus being in there, bringing back all the strings and everything, it was just a super unique blend of Eastern and Western influences into one track that definitely had a power to it that I haven't heard in a hot minute. So that was really, really cool to hear, and I loved hearing it every second of that song. That phase is going to go down as my favorite phase, easy, so far at least, of Genshin music. That is just gorgeous. Cream of the crop level stuff. I don't really have much else to say about it, so I guess that'll be the end of the video here. Thank you all very much for watching. If you want to follow me on here, please do so. I've got a Patreon, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all the things. I stream on Twitch every week. Whatever interests you, if you want to follow me, please do so. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!